Hey everyone, it's Nicole. Welcome back to my channel, Relax.Cut.Glue. If you're new here, welcome. I'm so happy to have you all here with me today. So today I'm starting a new big random glue book. Now, if you've been with my channel for any amount of time, you probably know what my big random glue book is. I started this book and named it Big Random a few years ago because I was getting anxiety with gluing. And I know that sounds weird because I always talk about how I glue to ease my anxiety, which is 100% true. But sometimes it can be a little bit overwhelming because you're so focused on what the end result is, or at least for me. And so I decided to start random gluing, and it has ended up being my absolute favorite way to glue. And with Big Random, I had so many square and rectangle images, you know, when you harvest a magazine, and I found that I had a plethora of those and less fussy cuts, and I didn't know what to do with them. So I started my Big Random. So basically all it is I add square images down on the page. I start with large images and then medium and then small. And then I go back through and I add things like washi tape, fussy cuts, tiny square images, words, phrases, whatever, or stickers, and I finish it off with that. So that's kind of my system for big random gluing. And a lot of you really enjoy the Big Random Glue book, and a lot of you have made your own Big Random Glue books. And it's a really fun way to glue. I feel like when you end up with your end result, it just looks wicked cool no matter what you do. And sometimes I go with like a theme-ish, like on my previous page, which I did with the Glue Crew. If you don't know what that is, that's a membership through YouTube to my channel, and it's $4.99 a month. I split that with YouTube. And you have extra videos from me that I don't share on my channel. I make them just for you. You have special emojis that I designed and created for you to use in the comment section. There's like little glue books, things that there's a pug. You'll often see me reply to your comments with that. And then there's a feed for membership only where I post pretty much daily things like what I cooked for dinner, things in my backyard, pictures of me and my family, the dogs, sneak peeks on what I'm working on, that sort of thing. So you can join that with a link in my description box. There's also usually a join button at the bottom of my video as well. So anyways, moving on. I did that first page with the Glue Crew because I kind of wanted to warm back up. I haven't done my Big Random Glue book in a little while, and my point to all that was there was no theme, but everything ended up being kind of on the pink side. So sometimes I do, even though the images are all random, there's a lot of pink in it. So I guess technically it was kind of a pinkish theme. It's just kind of how it worked out. So yeah, you can still do themes and stuff like that and have it still be totally random. And there's no rules. Do what you want to do. There are times in my Big Random Glue book where I did have a theme. Maybe I felt like it that day. Whatever I want to do is what I do in this glue book. So there are no rules, but this is the system I use, where I use a couple larger images. I usually pick only one or two, and then maybe one or two mediums, and then fill the rest up with small, extra small words and fussy cuts. So I absolutely love this. Now, my other Big Random Glue book was a sketchbook, but it was bound. It was sewn in. It's a sewn in sketchbook that I bought from Michael's Craft Store. It's their brand, the Artist Loft, and I believe it was $5 or $6. They go on sale all the time where you can get like 2 for $10 or 2 for $12 or whatever. And it's 8.5 by 11. They do have smaller ones. I've also glued in some of those. So with this glue book, I wanted a ring bound for my Big Random. So you may have known that a couple years ago or a year ago, I started Big Random 2.0, and it was a pink glue book, or sketchbook, just like my first Big Random. I decided I didn't want to go with that kind of style. So that's why I have not glued in that Big Random anymore. So that's no longer going to be my Big Big Random 2.0. This one is now my Big Random 2.0. I feel like I've said that word at least 20 times. At least. Thank goodness we aren't taking a shot for every time I say Big Random Glue Book, because we'd be wasted by now. So anyways, yeah, you can find this at Michael's. Like I said, it's an 8.5 by 11, and it's technically a sketchbook, but I love to glue in sketchbooks. For one, you can get them very inexpensive. Even like at Walmart, if you look in their arts and crafts section, they have some there that are very affordable. And then if you want one that's kind of a little less quality, which who cares because we're gluing on it, you can look in the children's craft section, even at Michael's, even though I think these are cheaper than the ones in the kids craft section. But look in the kids area, even at Walmart, and you can find sketchbooks even cheaper. So that's my, what's the word? Solution? Advice. I think that's my advice for you if you want to use a sketchbook as well. I love sketchbooks. I think this has a hard cardboard cover to it. With the ring bound, it's so easy to glue in. I can work front to back. I don't have to, in books that are sewn in or glued in or whatnot, stapled in, you need to work front, middle, back, front, middle, whatever. You got to move all over the book, or else your spine will roll and your book will be funky when it's done. But with a spiral bound glue book, you can work front to back or work wherever you want. So I really, really enjoy that. All right, now that I got that out of the way, oh my gosh, I feel like I've been talking so fast. I'm sorry. It's Monday. I'm like gearing to go. I had a really lazy weekend. All of us did. We were all just feeling kind of blah again. The weather was pretty gross too. That might have something to do with it. And this morning we had snow mixed with rain. Like, what? It's April. Go away. So weird. And then yesterday we were looking at the forecast, and next weekend, Sunday and Monday, was supposed to be like 76 degrees. And here we have like hailstorms and snow mixed with rain today. But then I looked at the weather again, and now it's like down 10 degrees and like thunderstorms. So who knows? We'll have to wait till we get to that day to see. But I'm like, my backyard is a swamp right now. So Bob loves doing yard work. He takes great pride in having our grass look the best on the street. I'm not even joking. He's like, when he goes out on a nice Saturday morning, and if other people are mowing their lawn, he's like, oh, I need to get out there and mow my lawn. He's just funny about it. It's really cute. So our backyard, our grass always looks the best. But right now, we've had so much snow and rain and all this stuff that it's just like a swamp. Our grass is, it's horrible. So I'm looking forward to it drying out so I don't have to wipe the dog's feet every time they come in to the house. Mainly Xena, because she's the one that's running around out there. Sherman goes out there, does his business, and comes back, and it's usually not in the grassy area. So he comes in clean as can be. But Xena, she has to go outside and make her rounds. She has to go around to the right side of the house and the left side of the house and check for rodents, cats, whatever, squirrels, that kind of stuff. She does, I always say she does a perimeter check every time she goes out there. It's pretty cute. Ooh, I love how this is coming together. And then I was scraping that, and I scraped away some of her hair. You have to be careful when you're smoothing out your images when they're wet. Okay, so here comes Anal Nicole with her ruler, because I wanted to add a strip of washi right there, but I wanted it to be the exact size. Listen, you do not need to be like me. I'm ridiculous. I did not need to break out my ruler for random gluing, but I did, and that's okay, because that's what works for me. If it doesn't work for you, that's okay too. But yeah, I did it, and I'm not even ashamed. I mean, a little bit. I'm a little bit ashamed. But it fits. It fits perfect. Oh, no, it doesn't. I need to cut off a little bit more. Oh, no, it was just uneven. That was my problem. Okay, Anal Nicole needs to go away. So funny. I'm having so much fun. And I'm wearing my bathrobe. I am dressed. I took Jackson to school today. He went back to school after being off for 2 weeks with spring break. But I took off my sweater and put on my bathrobe because I don't know. I just like being cozy in my bathrobe, and it has nostalgia. I talk about it all the time. I got this when I was pregnant with my 23-year-old son. So I don't know. It's thin, so you don't get too hot, and I just love it. I can't do chunky bathrobes. Nope. Am I in my mid 40s now? I guess I would be considered my mid 40s. And no, I don't like it. I get too hot. Not a fan. So thin it is. Oh my gosh. Speaking of being in your mid 40s. So I get out of the shower this morning. I'm drying off. And okay, so let me set this up for you. You know those mirrors that, can stand on your counter and you can flip it around, and so it's regular mirror and then you flip it and it's got like 5 or 10 times so you can, really see the hairs that are poking out of your chin that you have to pluck, those kind of mirrors. Yeah, so I have it sitting on my counter and I'm drying off and I look up and I'm like, oh, hell no. It was flipped to the 5 times side. And it was facing directly at my shower. And all I see is my naked body zoomed in ×5 on a Monday morning. I was not happy about it at all. I was like, ew, okay, no, thank you. Put that away, ma'am. I was like, that is not what I want to see at all. Oh my gosh, I swear. I don't know what I do with myself. I am just a nutcase. All these little images, I just did a Glue Crew video where I harvested a Cosmopolitan magazine. And a lot of these images that I'm using in this glue book are from that magazine. I love Cosmo. I mean, yes, there's like, SCX talk and all that kind of stuff in there, which whatever, we're grown. We can see that stuff. But there's great images in there all the time. And I love it because of that. They have like, I don't know, not like collaged images in there. They're like pre-collaged. And then there's great words and usually great outfits and crazy makeup and like all that kind of stuff. I love looking for that kind of thing when I'm glue booking. So I keep a couple of containers. The one on the left right there, that is my fussy cut container. Normally my words do not go in there, but lately I've just been tossing a few in there because it's kind of nice to just have a few to grab instead of having to grab yet another container. So I have a few sprinkled in there and I'm cool with that. Nicole a year ago would not have been cool with that. They needed to be organized, but now I really like it. People ask me all the time how I organize my images, and my answer is it's different for everybody. What works for me may not work for you. And what I've realized in my glue booking journey that is I don't like my images organized, which is so crazy for me to say. I mean, that's a lie. I do, but I don't organize them as normal people would, I guess, or other people, I should say. I organize mine. I have all my fussy cuts in one. I have all my squared off rectangle images in another. And when I'm working on a project, I usually keep a basket that has images for that project. Like my spring glue book, I have my basket that has images in it, as well as the washi tape that coordinates with it, as well as a box for the fussy cuts. Because I feel like it's just easier that way for me, because I like to dig through and find something that catches my eye. That's what gets me going. I don't want to have to go, oh, I want to add an eyeball and go search for an eyeball. I don't want to do that. I don't want to think about what I want to put there. I want to just dig through and find something where I'm like, ooh, that fits. I want that. That looks rad. I want to use it. So that's what I do. Now, when I'm working in my big random, I used to, and I still kind of do, I still have them. I would keep baskets where I have my larger squared off images, my medium squared off image. Oh no, that's a lie. I had my large and medium squared off images in the same basket. Then I would have my small or smaller medium images in another basket. And then I used to keep like really teeny tiny squared off images in a little tiny basket. Not necessary, but it just helped when I'm going through these 3 stages of large, medium, small when I'm doing the background. This time I did not. I didn't organize them into baskets. I just kept them in the one squared off little clear container here. And I kind of don't like that. I need to break out my baskets and do that again, where I have large, medium, medium, small, and extra small. That's just what works for me. If you like your images organized, there are millions of ways to do it. And don't let anybody tell you there's any wrong way to organize your images. You have to do what works for you. And what works for me may not work for you. So keep that in mind. If you don't like it, don't think that that's how you have to do it. Change it. I have. And I've changed as I've been, I've been gluing for several years. And I've changed as I've got. When I first started, I thought I had to organize all my stuff. And I bought so many different things and nothing felt right. I did not like at all how my things were organized. Either it was inconvenient to grab the item, or I had to put in a lot of money to get lots of different, envelopes or containers, or it wasn't for me. I really like digging through. So see if that works for you. You'll save money by buying tons of things to organize and that kind of thing. I mean, don't get me wrong. I have little baskets of things that are cut all over the place, but this is what works for me. And this is what I use the most, is this kind of system. And of course my finger stuck to the flip-flops there and I ripped them apart, but hey, what do? You win some, you lose some. All right, guys, I'm going to end the video here. If you wouldn't mind, give the video a thumbs up. It really helps me a lot, and I really, really appreciate it. And I hope you guys have a fabulous day. Don't forget to drink some water, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.